I get asked oftentimes, what are the pros and cons of using instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization or using the tools? And that's an easy one for me to answer. If you really think about the different theories of how instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization works, probably the one that's grounded the most in literature, well, although we can find different theorists on why this works, is that we're trying to break up abnormal scar tissue, or we're trying to maybe modify abnormal cross-linking of collagen network. Now, many of you could say, yeah, I've done that for years and years. I was taught that in school. And every one of us probably was in some way, shape, or fashion taught that. But the one thing we weren't really taught, or I can speak to myself, is the way it's typically taught, or the way it was approached with Dr. Cyriak, sort of the father of modern orthopedic medicine, is we use our hands and we use our fingers. And if we do that long-standing, and many of you will know that, a long-standing with cross-friction massage using our fingers, a couple things come into play there. One, it's very tiring. Two, it puts a lot of stress on your joints, and you're not going to be able to do this for a long time in your career. So one advantage of using a tool is it takes the stress off our fingers, stress off our hands. One other thing that I think is vitally important, and I'll throw this in there about tools, is that not every tool we use with instrument assisted is the same thing. There's a wide variety of tools that are on the marketplace, and it's to your benefit to go look at the different ones and see what are the pros and cons of the tools from within. Now, quite quickly, the way the tools are made, from a very simplistic way of looking at it, is a lot of tools are plastic, a lot of tools are made out of just a simple metal alloy, but the best tools on the marketplace are made out of stainless steel. And you say, well, so what? What's the big deal? Because once we move into that category, the cost goes up. But what's really interesting when we start looking at stainless steel, and it's something you really have to experience, but it's an extension of my hands, because this is the advantage of the pros and cons of the IASTM and using tools, is that when you're using stainless steel, when there's a dysfunction in tissue, and as you move a tool over the areas of dysfunction, the stainless steel will actually start to resonate a little bit, and while it's hard to believe that you could feel this, it actually serves as a magnifier to your fingers, which you would feel is where the soft tissue dysfunction really is. Much like I would call these stainless tools, much like a stethoscope, where I could probably put my ear to your chest and listen and hear a heartbeat, but the easiest way to do it would be to use a stethoscope, which I can hear much better what's going on. IASTM tools work the same way. They magnify the dysfunction that we can now palpate it in our hands. So what I thought I was able to do with before, the simple way, using just hands to come up with my answer, the tools magnify it and they make my job a whole lot easier, and I'm more efficient, which ultimately ends up to a better outcome with our patients.